So I was thinking today to draw a parallel between sailing and meditation. Of course, I mean solo sailing, because when you have a crew, family, friends, you can't really do anything close to meditation. And when I talk about meditation, I don't mean focusing on a certain problem. I rather mean it in the way Alan Watts meant it, which is a state of being, a way of letting things be while being fully aware of what's going on and fully conscious. And so you kind of get into such a state of being when you're sailing sometimes, because you relax, and the rhythm of the sea, the wind, the waves has a way of calming the mind, and you start making one with your boat. You are very, even without trying, you are acutely aware of the sounds the boat makes, the sails, the rig, the way it finds its way through the waves, and also every little movement that the boat makes, you can interpret it, the pitch, the roll, the yaw, and this is barely on a conscious level. It's almost in your subconscious when you do this for a long time. So you are just in tune with the boat, and the boat speaks to you even without looking at the instruments and all the technology that we have on board. There's a certain feeling that the boat gives you. So you sit here, you're calm, you listen to the boat, and you have to maintain, of course, awareness of your surroundings. That's the most important thing, I guess, in sailing, to be aware of what happens around you. So you are very connected to the present moment. That doesn't mean the mind cannot wander, but it's really, in my experience at least, it gets close to a meditative state. So, you know the saying, there's a saying that I like. They say, when you pray you ask, and when you meditate you listen. And a good part of solo sailing is actually listening. So if you can get into this realm of calm mind, of inner focus, and you just listen to your surroundings, you let the boat do its thing, this is almost like a moving meditation. So we may ask the question, why is it good to meditate? And again, I'm not any authority in the matter, but from my own experience I can tell you that meditation is great if you can do it right. It makes you calmer, it makes you steadier from a psychological point of view. It helps a lot with all kinds of fears and anxieties, and it gives you a certain kind of clarity. In a way, it's just like fasting. You know, when you are fasting, it's definitely good for the body, because you get rid of all kind of toxins, and you allow time for the body to just rejuvenate itself, There are mechanisms in place in the functioning of the body, genes that activate, cells that do a general cleanup and help with all kinds of ailments that you might have. So fasting is very good, and one can think of meditation as the fasting from thoughts, because if you are thinking, it's not meditation. If it's meditation, you are not thinking. Thoughts may occur when you meditate, it's inevitable, but you have to look at them like you look at the clouds in the sky. You just don't attach to them. You observe that they are there in the sphere of your consciousness, and you let them pass without disturbing them, or even more importantly, without letting them disturb you. Krishnamurti talked a lot about that you have to be in a state of choiceless awareness, and you don't have to force anything. So it's the absence of any kind of forcing. So if you can get into that state, it's very good. You are fasting from excessive thoughts, and in today's world, with all the media and artificial intelligence, and it's like we are all neurotic, and we are all connected too much to other people's ideas and thoughts and fears, and not to mention all the propaganda that is going on. So the world is in kind of a crazed state of mind right now. Yeah, everyone can can easily see that just by looking at the news. So it's good to be able to just pause from all that, and if you can do that for a period of time, then automatically the mind becomes calmer. It's just about letting things go and creating the right conditions for the mind to calm itself down. And there's this comparison which has been made for, I guess, thousands of years. I have read it in some Zen writings, old ones, that the mind is like the surface of the water, and if the mind is agitated, if there are all kinds of ripples on the surface cannot reflect anything. But if the mind is still and quiet, it is like the still surface of a lake or a body of water, which can then reflect fully the moon. In this case, the moon represents the supreme consciousness, which some people believe is behind everything in this reality, including you and me. And yeah, so that's what happens when you meditate. The mind calms itself down, and you can perceive things that you cannot otherwise. And you see, when we are sailing, you get the clouds in the sky, you get the ripples on the surface of the water. So it's just a mirroring of the psychological space out in nature.